Hi, welcome back to Bob's Blurb at Eye of the Needle Winery. Today's topic, we're going to spend a little time talking about what's known as an AVA. So, what's an AVA? American Viticultural Area. The most common one we know of is the Columbia Valley. So, that encompasses a good part of eastern Washington and a good part of our grape growing region in the state of Washington. So an AVA is a geographic area that separates itself because of certain criteria. Some of you know Walla Walla, Wallach Slope, Yakima Valley, Horse Heaven Hills, Rattlesnake Hills, Ancient Lakes. There are 14 individual AVAs in the state of Washington. I believe that all but maybe one or two are on the eastern side of the state. So let's take, for instance, Red Mountain. Documentation has to be provided to the TTB that says, you know what, this little area right here called Red Mountain, we have enough characteristics, whether they be altitude, BTUs or heat units per day, or soil composition, or any other factors that come in that make the wines that come out of this area way more distinct than other parts of the state. Once that is proven, then a person can get an AVA, in which case you can take that AVA and you can put it on your wine label, i.e. Walla Walla. Let's take Walla Walla, Wallach Slope, Red Mountain, and Yakima. Get 5 different bottles of cab, each from one of those areas, and sit down and try them all and look for the distinctive characteristics that each one has to offer because of the AVA in which the fruit was derived. Walla Walla generally commands a higher price point, as does Red Mountain. Maybe it's just because that specific characteristic has more of an appeal to a broader base of people. You may see once in a while, if you're looking at a wine label, it says, it doesn't say Columbia Valley, it could say American. What that means is that there's probably some California wine blended with some Washington wine, so you can't call it either, so it has an American AVA or designation to it. Okay, so let's talk about the Columbia Valley as a whole. We now know that there are multiple little AVAs inside of the Columbia Valley. The Columbia Valley was formed thousands of years ago by a series of floods called the Missoula floods. The ice dams on specific rivers and lakes in the Montana area, as a continent we warmed up, the glacier dams broke, and there was a series of floods that came down and helped to carve out the Columbia River Valley. There is a part of Walla Walla that is on the Oregon side of the Columbia River. And some people say that the most fertile soil was dropped there because it was at the base of the mountains, whereas in the Walla Walla Valley it was just valley floor. But those Missoula floods basically are responsible for carving out the Columbia Valley, and in each time there was a flood, different soil types and mineral deposits were deposited in its path, hence helping establish the difference between all the little individual AVAs. Our harvest white wine here is labeled as Columbia Valley. There's some Yakima Valley fruit in here, there's some Wallach Slope fruit in here, but we just labeled it as Columbia Valley. This is a gold medal white blend. It was one of our first wines that we started with. The people that know us and have known it for a long time, they just call it the porch pounder. They couldn't come in here and by God remember the word harvest white to save their life, but they can come in and say, I'm out of porch pounder. This wine is designed and loves heat. Hot days, hot tubs, Thai food, Indian food, buffalo wings, tacos, jalapeno poppers. It is a blend of 4 varietals. The first one being Chenin Blanc, the next one Riesling, the next one Gewürztraminer, and the last one Muscat. When you get this glass of wine in front of you and you get it up to your nose, boy, there's just a burst of aromas and you think that this wine is sweet. As you taste it and it first hits your palate, you're going to think, ah, yeah, this is going to be on the sweet side. By the time you get to the finish, the acidity from the Chenin Blanc kicks in and this turns into this wonderful tart Granny Smith apple. So if you want to have some fun, watch a friend taste this wine, because the facial expression they have when they smell it and the facial expression they have after they've experienced the finish, they're, what just happened here? This is supposed to be sweet. So, porch pounder, hot weather, harvest white, gold medal, cheers to you. See you at the winery. Anything you want to talk about, shoot me an email. Thanks everybody and have a good summer.